you so much for kind of being part of this project. Would you kind of start us off, please, with just telling us your name and what your job is?
Yep, hello. My name's Annie Ewley. My job title is Senior Applied Scientist. I'm a marine biologist and ecologist by training, and I work for PML Applications, which is part of Plymouth Marine Laboratory down in Devon.
Fantastic. And so, how did what kind of activities are involved in your job?
Well, it's quite a niche area of marine science. I work in something called biofouling, and I don't know if you can see behind me, but I've got some pictures of sort of barnacles and things called bryozoans and ascidians, these weird and wonderful creatures that grow underwater. And that's sort of the area of science that I work in. And basically, people come to us if they've got a problem with this kind of stuff growing on their, say it's a ship or some novel marine technology that getting covered with biofouling and that doesn't work as well. Or they come to us with a novel solution to prevent this biofouling, and then help them test it and to see where the problem might be and how we can help improve it. I also work in a thing called biosecurity, which is sort of what's going on at the moment with COVID, except for I do it with marine animals, so stopping the spread of non-native species around the world. And I also do a thing called expert evidence. So we have lawyers come to us that have legal disputes over whose fault it is that a ship is covered in barnacles, believe it or not. So it's a mix of office work. So we do, a lot of reports and reviews. I'm quite often in the laboratory, and sometimes that laboratory, we will have built it in the back of a transit van or a shipping container. So it's all kind of quite dynamic. Might be doing some testing or, microscope identification work. And I do a lot of field work. So I go down to the marina quite a lot. I'll go off site to some top secret locations sometimes, or to customer places, or just out and about on boats doing sampling, testing, surveys, meetings, all sorts of things. So really, really varied job.
Fantastic, my God. So how did you kind of get into this role in the first place?
Quite a long route. But ultimately I was at university. And when I was at university, I wasn't quite sure what sort of marine science I wanted to do, because marine biology is like a really, really broad subject. I know a lot of people think that all marine biologists work with sharks or dolphins or turtles or something. And that's a tiny, tiny part of marine science. So I knew that I had to figure out what I wanted to do while I was at university. So I went to every single seminar, lecture, presentation, tried to meet as many people as I could and try as many things as I could. And eventually I was at one seminar that was given by a visiting Australian professor called Emma Johnson. And she was reporting on some experiments she was doing with some non-native species similar to the ones behind me. And it just completely blew me away. I just thought it was so exciting. I legged it down the steps of the lecture theatre after the lecture, thinking that everybody was, of course, going to be, fighting me to get to her first. And apparently it was only me. And I was desperate. I thought I really want to do my final year project with something that she does. And the gentleman that was hosting her, Dr. John Bishop, I got talking to him, and I ended up doing my final year project around the subject that she was talking about with John Bishop. And that went really well. It was a massive, massive project, but it was really good fun. And then fortunately, John had some work at the end of my degree, and he gave me 8 months work, and it's just built from there. So I've had, contract after contract, and done a lot of, started off in research, but then eventually came into this commercial world where we're using science to solve real world problems. So it's quite a long route, but I'm glad I got here.
Amazing. My God. So what qualifications did you have at school, or what subjects did you study at school that kind of prepared you for this kind of thing?
I would say I had a fairly regular school education, but I did miss a lot of my first and second year. I had quite a serious road accident, so very much sympathised with school children that have missed a lot of school due to the COVID pandemic. I did manage to get my O-levels, or GCSEs now, but I did leave school at 15, and I went straight into an apprenticeship. And that apprenticeship was actually in agriculture, because that's what I wanted to do since I was about 4 years old. I always wanted to work on a farm. So university wasn't ever really on the table or on the cards for me at all. It was just, wanted to get out of school, wanted to get into farming, and that's what I did. So I, you might not think it, but I'd learned a lot of really good skills on that apprenticeship that I would say have given me an edge in the job that I do now. I did go back and do a higher national diploma, which is sort of like a little bit higher than A levels, but very much something that I was specifically interested in. And so those O levels and that H&D helped me later on in life when I was older and sort of fancied a change of career. That helped me to get into university, and it also helped me to sort of understand what I was being taught at university. So not quite, conventional route into my job or at school, but definitely the O levels really helped with GCSEs.
Okay, fantastic. So, what kind of training do you do now to kind of keep yourself current? I mean, you're in a dynamic kind of environment, so how do you keep yourself current?
Yeah, well, I mean, science by its nature is always learning. You have questions and you need to answer them, and you need to do research to answer those questions. And then if there's nothing out there, then you have to do experiments and studies or reviews to figure out the answer. So I mean, I did learn a lot of good practical foundational skills from my university supervisor, and those have formed the base of everything I've done. But I would say, really, we're learning on the job. So it's all those skills that you get from little weekend jobs when you're a kid or sports activity. They're all important. It's all these practical organisational skills, being able to figure stuff out on your own, being able to work in a team, dealing with new situations and problems, and just getting on and doing stuff. We do a lot of, say, health and safety. I have to be quite up on. I have to do a lot of sort of training for other people as well. We have to make sure that everybody's working safely in the laboratory when we go on field work. But a lot of it is, that is just how science works, is that you go to conferences and you listen to a lot of other people and you read other people's papers and see what they're doing. And you think, well, how can I take this a little bit further? And what's the knowledge gap there? And what do we need to do? But a lot of the time customers are coming to us with questions, and it's a novel technology. So it's a novel test setup that we have to make. So we have to think outside the box quite a lot of the time. And that's about having a good team around you and talking with people and finding the right people with the right skills.
And that brings us quite nicely on to the next question, really. So, what kind of personal qualities have helped to make you so successful?
I think you need a biological background, and importantly, you need to be interested in the subject. I mean, I fully understand that maybe not everybody's as enthusiastic about barnacles as I am. So you need to find something that you're really interested about, because some days are really dull and really boring. And that gets you through to the good days. But I would say and we talk about this a lot, is having a can-do attitude, and it's just getting on and doing stuff and being able to think and figure stuff out by yourself. And a lot of the time it is things that nobody's done before, so you've got to work that out. We do a lot of multitasking as well, so we've got a lot of projects going on at various times. We've got a lot of tight deadlines, so we work hard. We have to be organised and methodical, and I'd say one thing really important is to get on with people. So you work by yourself, you work in teams, and you need to get on with your colleagues. But it's not just the colleagues that you work with. There's all sorts of other people, all the support staff. So people that make all the travel arrangements, do the financial work, project management, health and safety, marketing. They're all vital roles. And of course, we have to get on with our customers. So we have some quite what you would call important customers. That we want them to feel comfortable working with us. We want them to enjoy working with us, and feel that we're professional and we can do what we say we can do. So ultimately, it's about having the right attitude, being positive, adaptable, resilience, and it's this can-do approach, and that's what we look for when we're hiring. That's the kind of thing we assume, that people they're going to have a degree, they're going to have some background knowledge, but we want people that, that are going to be really good on our team and just going to, get on and do it and be, good fun to work with, because, we want
Okay,
a good time when we're at work.
that's amazing. Right. Well, every job has its ups and its downs. Challenges and rewards, I think, is the way we kind of phrase it these days. So, what would you say is the biggest challenge to your particular job at the moment?
I mean, every day is a challenge pretty much. That is the nature of science. You have a question, or somebody has a question, and you're trying to find out an answer. So inherently, it's going to be a challenge, because it's something new. But that's what I enjoy. So you either love that or you hate it. I would say to be honest, I'm very often working just or quite a long way out of my comfort zone. And I might be presenting in front of 300 people that I've never met before. I might be, I don't know, jumping on a huge high-tech ship in the middle of the sea all by myself, with 70 fellas that I've never met before, and they're all watching me do some weird kind of testing or experiment on my own on the deck of this ship, and you're getting really strange looks. I sometimes work with the military, so I'm doing sort of top secret kind of work in sites that I've had to go through security clearance to, and I can't talk about it
Hmm?
afterwards. So it's very much like flying by the seat of your pants quite often, but in a controlled way. And you can only do that, with experience and the background knowledge. And again, that can do attitude, but also, having that good team of people around you. So it is challenging, but that's what the people that do this kind of job, that's what we like.
So that brings us on quite nicely to what's the reward? What is the reward in this kind of role?
Well, we all have to do some boring stuff. It's not all sort of fun and games. And we have to do a lot of reports and stuff. But those times make up for, or those times sort of set you up for the good bits. So a few weeks ago, I had my head inside a submarine, which was very exciting. I've been on a massive ship recently. Later today, I'm going to be on a microscope. Yesterday, I was down at the marina, messing around on a dinghy and giving some haircuts to some test panels. I've been to Australia, Hawaii, chasing ships around Germany and Sweden. I've talked about hull cleaning, which is basically underwater lawnmowers that clean the bottoms of ships. I talked to Navy people and microbiologists, talked to the BBC, people, engineers or designers that have come to us with this golden bullet for solving the world's problems for biofouling. So, all sorts of things, traveling, teaching, writing, experiments. But, basically, I work with animals that poo out the top of their heads and clone themselves. So what's not to love about that?
Yeah, okay. Right, yeah, okay. So that's an amazing reward, actually. So if you were kind of going to be talking to some young people and saying, this is how I got here, what kind of advice would you give them if they wanted to follow you in a kind of career that you've taken?
Yeah, I mean, I think this probably goes for any job really. But I mean, obviously, do as well as you can at school. That's crucial, because you might change career, you might whatever you want to do. If you've got that foundation, that's going to be huge. But I would say take every opportunity that you can. Make opportunities happen, and find something that interests you, and don't wait for things to come to you. You've got to go out and find them, or make these opportunities happen. So go to talks and seminars and presentations and talk to people, read and join special interest groups. And just find something that floats your boat. Marine biology and any marine science, it's a massive area. Like I was saying before about, there's not many of us that work on sharks and dolphins and stuff. That's a tiny part. But there's so many different jobs in marine sciences that it's kind of overwhelming to find something that you like. But when you have found something you like, think about what skills you need to be able to do that job. But I would always say try and be someone that other people want to work with as well. So first off, be reliable. If you say you're going to do something, do it, and do it as well as you can. But it's just simple things like being helpful. Show that you're interested. Be nice. Be nice to the people that you're working with, and be the type of person that you would like to work with. So ultimately, it's about being proactive, very positive, or always be positive and adaptable. I always say be adventurous in everything that you do, because that's the kind of person that I would want to work with. So just get out there and give it a go and make these things happen.
Okay, so you've been doing this job for a few years. What kind of still gets you out of bed in the morning to kind of go in and do this job?
Well, I'm not the best at getting out of bed in the morning. But I mean, it's that thing. Every day is different. Every day is a challenge. I mean, sometimes it may not feel like a challenge, but it gets you going. We have good days, bad days. We have bad weather days. But when it's really good and you're on a boat and the sun's coming up or the sun's going down, it doesn't get much better than that. I get to do crazy things in crazy places that I would never have dreamt of, even at university. Um, you know, I've worked for a good company. I have a good boss. I really like my team. Customers are usually really, really good fun and really enthusiastic about what they're doing. But also what we do. There's sort of like a sneaky side effect of this is that if we can keep ships clean and we can keep all this infrastructure clean, it means that they work more efficiently. So things like fuel use go down, and that all helps with greenhouse gas emissions. So we're actually helping lower the carbon emissions of the world. It's only a small part of it, we're only a tiny part of it, but we are doing that. And I also work with the biosecurity work. I'm helping stop the spread of non-native species around the world. So that's protecting biodiversity. And again, it's only a small part of that massive cog, but you are part of that, and it's so it's a win-win situation for everybody. Everybody's happy with the work that we do. So it's a positive environment, and it's a really nice place to work.
Wow, can I join?
Send me your CV.
Okay. Well, all I can say, Anna, is thank you so much for being part of all of this. This has been really, really helpful and very inspiring in places, I have to say. I'll be up there knocking on your door fairly soon. All I'm going to say is thank you so much for kind of being part of this project. I'm sure you're going to stimulate and inspire lots of children who watch this. And so I'm just going to say thanks very much and hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much. I'll put the kettle on for you. It's been nice talking to you.